What's up, Periscope? With Credit Suite, and today we are going to decode the bank credit scoring system. We are going to decode what is called the bank rating, which is a third type of credit score that very few people know anything about. So to get to the basics, hey, welcome to this scope today. Glad you could make it. So to get to everybody, hey Prince, what's up? Paul, welcome everybody. So to get to the basics of this is what you need to know. As a business owner, you have three types of credit. You have consumer credit. What's up, Regina? I need tier 4 business credit. Awesome. We've talked about that on these scopes as well. By tier 4, I think you mean cash credit. And if it's cash credit that you mean, then you can get cash credit for business credit. It takes about 10 trade lines and a high credit limit of $10,000 to be able to get to that tier 4 or cash credit in most cases. Also to get to auto vehicle financing. Today we're going to be diving into, though, your third type of credit score. So we talked last week, I'm pretty sure, about FICO and broke everything down about FICO. What we're going to do this week is decode their second of third type of credit, which is called bank credit. So here's what you need to know. As a business owner, you have three types of credit. You have consumer credit, which you're obviously familiar with, TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. And somebody says here 28 different FICO scores. There's, I think, more than 28 the types of FICO scores, because there's at least 16 different kind of scorecards, which we talked about all this stuff last week. So with consumer credit, you've got everything to do with FICO score, Vantage score. You're familiar with that. You also have business credit, which we talk about a lot on these scopes, and that has to do with Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian, Commercial. We'll be talking about that next week. Then you have this third type of credit, which is called bank credit. And your bank credit score is primarily, well, not primarily, it's only available and used by big conventional banks. So this only matters if you're going to go try to get a credit card or a business loan from Bank of America, from Chase, from Wells Fargo, from Regions, one of the big banks. Watched last week's scope, missed it. Christine, well, you were out getting like a car loan. Christine actually just secured a car loan based on her business credit quality alone, and actually like a dually she's looking at, and also got some other big financing for her trucking business, which is awesome because she's built her business credit, so she's a real success story. So with your bank credit score, it's only ever going to be looked at if you're using an SBA loan. If you're trying to go to your bank to get a credit card, for example, those type of things. You know, it's interesting because even Regions, I talked to my bank yesterday and she said, hey, by the way, if you want, we were trying to get the ability to accept ACH payments. And she goes, well, how's your business credit? I said, we've got good business credit. She goes, you'll have no problem, but we see people turn down for even the ability to do ACHs because they don't have business credit. So it's a big issue if you don't have business credit at the banks. So your banks have a third type of credit score you will never see. You will never even know exactly what your score is. Thanks for the loves. Thanks for the shares. I appreciate that. It's never publicized anywhere. The only people that know it are underwriters at the bank. Even the front-end bank managers and the front-end reps that you talk to at your bank don't know what your bank credit score is. You got that universal. That's awesome, Christine. We just added that to the back office too. Hopefully that's where you got it. So she just got a $7,000 cash credit card too, which I need to add to the list, which I will add to your list. I have a consultation with you guys next week. Excited. Awesome. Looking forward to you. We'll talk to you a lot more about our program and stuff you could do on your own. So yes, Christine, you got that from us. We just added, as Christine, as you know, we just added about 11 brand new sources to the back office, new vendor accounts, an IKEA account. We added 2 cash credit cards. We added 2 vehicle lease and financing options, all of which are available based on business credit without a personal guarantee, without a personal credit check, which is pretty cool. And just so you guys know, we'll dive into credit scores next week as well, business credit scores. Then we'll probably dive back in and talk a little bit more about business credit because a lot of people are soliciting this, wanting us to get back to some business credit teaching. So back to your bank credit score. Here's what you got to know. If you're going to get a loan at your bank, if you're going to get a credit card at your bank, you need to know. We talked about how to get money based on your consumer credit quality, unsecured financing up to 150 grand even as a startup. We talked about collateral, okay, and how to get collateral-based financing. It's great to be a partner. Thanks for all you do. Well, thank you for being a partner. We look forward to helping you be successful. So collateral-based financing, all different types based on your collateral. None of this cares about your bank credit score. None of it. None of it matters when it comes to bank credit score or when it comes to you have a 450 credit score on the FICO side. Well, you need business credit. And also, Paul is on here today. Paul does credit repair, so you and Paul can connect and he can help you with a lot of credit repair, which is true. Does this hold true for multiple accounts for the same business? It's your primary bank account. As we have more than one account, it is your primary bank account is what matters. So that being said, no one will loan me a loan, you're saying, because you have a 450 credit score. My advice is that you go back even for a startup business. So if you're a startup business and you don't have good credit, then you don't have cash flow, you don't have good credit, and if you have some kind of collateral here like this, you will be able to get a business loan. If you don't have collateral, you are right. No one will give you a loan. You don't have any of the 3 C's that make you lendable. You don't have cash flow, you don't have credit, you don't have collateral. That's when you want to get business credit. All this credit you see here, all these approvals, even Christine's $7,000 approval is all based on business credit quality. So if you don't have one of these, then you need to build business credit. You ask what type of collateral? This type, 401k, IRA, stocks or bonds. Account receivables, purchase orders, inventory, equipment, commercial real estate. Guys, you got to think of it like this if you want a business loan. If you don't have any money, you don't have a business. You have a concept. If you don't have good credit, you have a history of showing that you don't pay your bills timely. So the only history you have is showing people that you don't pay on your obligations, which is a problem. So then they want collateral to offset risk. If you don't have this, well, then they're going to come to your business credit. They're going to say, how's your business credit quality? If you don't have this, then the question becomes, why would somebody lend you money? You don't have a business yet. You have a concept. You don't have good credit, so you don't have good payment history. And then you don't have anything to offset the lender's risk. So, and you never have established business credit. So that's what makes you unlendable. If you want to fix that, it's simple. All you have to do is build business credit. If you go to creditsuite.com/Periscope, you'll get a free guide on building business credit. If you go to creditsuite.com/scope, that will then give you access to our previous Periscopes where we map out the exact steps to build business credit. When you follow these steps, these are the kind of approvals you can get, including $15,000 credit cards, $20,000, $40,000, $7,000 cash credit cards. So if you don't have a lendable strength, create a lendable strength by creating business credit. That's my best advice. So back to the topic at hand. So you have 3 types of credit. You've got your consumer credit. You've got your business credit scores. Today we're going to talk about bank credit. If you're getting a credit card at your bank, if you're getting an SBA loan, you cannot get an SBA loan without having a good bank credit score. So how does the bank credit scoring system work? I'm going to introduce it to you right now. It's based on a lot of different factors. It's based on how you manage your bank account, how much money you have in your bank account. Remember, this does not matter when it comes to business credit building. They don't care what's in your bank account. It won't affect this at all. It only affects it if you want a bank credit card or loan. So primarily, they're going to look at what your what the amount of money you keep in your bank account over the last 90 days is. So that determines ultimately your bank credit score. If you keep $70,000 to $100,000 in your bank account, you have what's called a high 5 score, which makes you very lendable. $40,000 to $70,000 is a mid 5, low 5. The least amount that you can have to be lendable at a bank is $10,000 in your bank account, average over the last 90 days to $40,000. Otherwise, you're down here. High 4 is $7,000 to $10,000. Mid 4 is a balance of $4,000 to $7,000 in your bank account. Low 4 is $1,000 to $4,000. If you are one of these bottom 3, you are not going to be able to get a bank loan. You're probably going to struggle to get a bank business credit card either. But if you're one of these top 3s, then you are lendable at the bank. The higher the score, the lower the risk that you have. Now remember, this is over a 90-day period. So that means if you don't have that money in the bank now, it doesn't matter. If you're going to apply for a bank loan in the future, just know to keep your balance in your bank account above 10 grand at least 90 days before you apply for that bank loan at your bank, a business loan at your bank. If you do that, then it's going to be good. So let's look back the last 3 months, right? November, December, January have passed. So let's say October I had $500 in my bank account. Let's say September I had $300. It doesn't matter. If I'm going to get a bank loan, then I put 10 grand in that bank account. Even if I have to borrow money to get the money in my bank account, I make sure I have 10 grand or more in the bank account November, December, and January. Then the last 3 months or the last 90 days, I have a balance of 10,000 or higher and I'm lendable. So anything that happens before the 90 days doesn't matter. All you need to know is if you're going to get a loan at your bank, you need to have at least 10 grand in that bank account for the last 90 days, the last 3 months. So 3 months before you even think about getting a bank loan or a bank credit card, make sure you have 90 grand in, or 10 grand in that bank account. If you do that and keep your balance at 10 grand for the next 90 days, then you'll be lendable at your bank. Now, I know some of you are going, hey, look, man, that's a lot of money. I understand that. Well, then you're probably not going to be applying for a bank loan anyways, or a bank credit card. We talk about a lot of other ways you can get money here. We talked about a whole other way you could get business credit here where you don't have to rely on the big banks. But if you want the bigger money at the big banks, this is what you do. A buddy of mine just got an SBA loan for 100 grand. It's hard to do, but he got it because he's got an established business. But in order to get it, he's got to have a balance of 10 grand or more in his bank account. But that's only part of it. There are other factors. So outside, this is the primary driver of your bank credit score. What amount of money you have in your bank account the last 90 days. There are other factors as well. How many non-sufficient funds you have. The more you overdraw your account, the lower your average balance is, the higher risk you are, the harder it is to get a loan. Positive cash flow. You need to have more money going into your bank account every month than is going out. It is great if you have $20,000 of deposits. It is bad if you have $25,000 worth of withdrawal. What's up, Sandra? Welcome. So you've got to have positive cash flow. It's really essential to have the best bank credit score. You need to have consistent deposits. If you're a real estate agent, this is problematic. You only have sporadic deposits. If you're a retail store that has money deposited 5, 6, 7 times a week, then that gives you the best chance of succeeding here. And Sandra, thank you very much for inviting all of the group. I really appreciate it. And thank you for sharing. Thank you all for the love, and thank you for sharing. So the age of your bank account, how long have you had the account open for? Guys, that's nowadays when you get money at a bank, what happens is they judge you based on how they judge how old your company is based on when you open your bank account, which means that you could easily have your bank account just now, or you could easily have set up your corporation 2 years ago, just set up your bank account today, and that's how they're going to rate how long you've been in business. So it's very important that you open a bank account early into your business, because that's how a lot of lenders determine that your business actually opened, based on the date of your bank account, not the date that you actually got incorporated. And it also matters because with your bank credit, you're going to have to use, if you get a bank loan, the age that you've had that main bank account open really makes a difference into your total bank credit score. Other bank products you have, do you have stocks within, or do you have a money market account? Do you have secondary and third checking accounts with them? Those things tie into your bank rating as well. So primarily the takeaways are this. Don't forget you have 3 types of credit. You've got your consumer credit scores. You've got business credit scores, which are based on how you pay your business credit bills, okay, which have to do with everything that reports to the business credit reporting agencies. We're going to decode this next week. Then you've got this third type of credit that you'll never see. You'll never know what your credit scores are, only offered by your bank, primarily driven based on how much money you have in the bank account. If you want to be lendable at the bank, you need to have at least a low 5 rating, which means at least $10,000 in your bank account for the last 90 days to be lendable at a big bank for a business loan. If you don't have this, then depending on how much money you have in the account, you're going to fall into one of these high 4, mid 4, low categories of the bank rating. And once you fall into one of these 3 categories, you are unlendable at a bank. Remember, as we've talked about in previous scopes, there's a lot of other money you can get. Private money, revenue lending, unsecured financing, all kinds of collateral-based financing. There's all kinds of money you can get. You can get these kind of business credit approvals not based on what's in your business bank account as well. But you cannot get a big bank loan unless you do this. You probably can't get a bank credit card unless the last 3 months you have an average of $10,000 or more in your business bank account. And then again, don't forget, don't overdraw your account, okay? Even if you have to use a credit card as backup or overdraft protection, whatever you need to do. Make sure you always put more money in than you take out. It matters when it comes to your bank rating. Make sure you try to deposit money consistently over time. You don't ever want to just have a few big deposits. It doesn't look good, and it's tough to get financing. You can't even get revenue lending. Private money and alternative SBA, this kind of money is very tough to get if you have big deposits and you don't have consistent deposits. And thank you all very much for the shares, and thank you guys for the love. It's really, really, really appreciated. Remember, you also need to have your bank account open the minute you open that company. The age of the bank account matters when it comes to a lot of business loans, including revenue lending, alternative SBA, private money, including bank loans, and it also ties into your bank rating. And don't forget that don't just limit the account that you have to just one checking account with your bank. Open up other checking accounts. Open up because identity theft, or the stealing of debit cards is one of the biggest crimes that happens now. It's the biggest thing that banks spend their time with. So you should have a smaller secondary bank account anyways, that you have a debit card that you use if you're using a debit card. Never use the debit card to your primary bank account because people can gain access and get all kinds of money. It happens, guys. In the last 45 days, personally, my wife and I have had both of our debit cards stolen and racked up because we pay at a gas station and all of a sudden they do whatever they do. They're using our card buying gift certificates at Home Depot. It happens. And when I talked to my banker, she said it's the number one thing they deal with. Is where they spend most of their time. So it makes sense to have two checking accounts. One you have a debit card for that you keep a smaller amount in. One that's a bigger account with a primary balance, money markets, all those type of things. If you do this, you have a high bank rating of a low 5, mid 5, or high 5. That makes you lendable. That's necessary to get SBA loans, any other kind of conventional business bank loan, and also to get business bank credit cards. So that gives you a good idea of how the bank rating works. We've now mapped out two types of credit. We decoded FICO and everything to do with FICO on our scope last week. If you missed it, go to creditsuite.com/scope and you can get our previous Periscopes. And this week we've now decoded bank credit scores. You know what very few people know. It's very hard to find information about the bank rating system out there. Now you know how it works. Okay, now you know what to do to get a conventional bank loan. And next week we're going to decode business credit scores. I think that's the one we haven't talked about. We're going to decode Experian, Equifax, everything to do with the business credit scores, the other credit scores they offer other than the primary ones, and so much more. Okay, so Big Baby Hampton, thank you. We really appreciate you coming on. So I hope you enjoyed the scope today. Not a long one because the bank credit score isn't complicated. Next week, it's going to be a lot longer because we're going to be talking about the Paydex score and the Equifax risk score and IntelliScore. We're going to talk about 4 other scores DNB offers. We're going to be talking about 4 or 5 other scores that Experian and Equifax offer. And I'm going to decode them all because I believe if you know the rules to the game, you can win the game. And when it comes to credit scoring, that's what matters. You need to know how these credit scores work because when you know how to they work, you can manipulate them. And I don't say manipulate in a bad way. It's simple. If you understand how the scores work, you can improve every aspect of the score and have success. So that being said, I'm going to wrap this up today. Hey, help me, okay? Yep, we absolutely will. If you need help, let us know. info@creditsuite.com. You can also schedule a time. creditsuite.com/. Time. If you want to schedule some time with us to talk more, 877-600-2488 as well, or email us suite.com, and we'll set up a time. We'll talk to you more about getting business credit and getting business loans. So I'm going to wrap this up today. The Oracle of Credit. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm blessed to have a lot of experience in this. 17 years of financial experience now, and owned a consumer credit company, sold it, and now very successful in the business credit space. So that's my life. I love credit. I love financing. Anything we can help you with in that area, let us know. My God, no, animal. What is that all about? I have no idea. But I think what we might do is just actually, we'll see here. If that person comes in with some more crazy comments, we'll just block you. That's okay. We don't want you here if you're nuts. So anyways, thanks everybody very much for taking the time to attend today. That being said, there you go. Block users. See ya. Okay, so that being said, if you have any other questions, anything we can help with, let us know. creditsuite.com/consult. And again, look forward to working for you. I don't have, actually, let me see if I could take a screenshot, send to phone. I had that code. to 855-982-1820. Actually, you know what? Don't do that yet. We do have that finalized now. 855-982-1820. Then we will actually not only email you information, we will now text you weekly tips on finance. I will show that in my future. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday at 4 o'clock when we decode business credit scores. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.